just saying. I'm just saying.
The feeling is mutual.
Gloria. Oh, I love it. I love it. She said the feeling's mutual. Isn't that something? Huh? A good wife is the crown of her husband. Okay? Now keep that, and this is another one. This is number C, letter C, Proverbs 17:6. So turn a few pages. This is again about the family. So a good wife is like a crown to her husband. 17 verse 6. Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and the glory of sons is their fathers. Got that? Grandchildren are a glory, a crown to the aged. See that? That's another crown the Lord gives. Yes.
What letter are we on?
C. This is letter C. C is the grandchildren are the crown of the aged. All right, now we're going to move forward. Proverbs, go a few more, two more books. Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. The next book is Wisdom. The book of Wisdom, chapter 5. Chapter 5. Page 524 if you have my Bible. Book of Wisdom, chapter 5. Okay, so we've seen how God clothes man with glory and honor, how the family also crowns us, grandchildren, a good wife. Okay? Wisdom 5 verse 15 says, "But the righteous live forever." Here's a clue. Underline this. Their reward is with the Lord. The Most High takes care of them. Brace yourselves. Therefore, they will receive a glorious crown and a beautiful diadem from the hand of the Lord, because with his right hand he will cover them, and with his arm he will shield them. The Lord will take his zeal as his whole armor, and will arm all creation to repel his enemies. He will put on righteousness like a breastplate, wear impartial justice as a helmet. He will take holiness as an invincible shield, and sharpen stern wrath with a sword. And creation will join with him to fight against the madmen. This is the same idea that Paul picks up in the book of Ephesians chapter 6. If you want to do a little cross-reference, go to Ephesians chapter 6. You will want to look at verses, hold on, 10 through 20. Ephesians 6, 10 through 20. So you see that Paul gets his idea about the armor of faith from the book of Wisdom. Okay? But again, God crowns him. God gives the crown to the righteous. Turn to the book of Sirach. After Wisdom comes Sirach, chapter 1. Sirach, chapter 1, verse 11. Page 538 if you have my Bible. Sirach chapter 1, verse 11. This is letter E on the outline. The fear of the Lord is glory and exaltation, and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. Jump to verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish. Okay? Now, of course, if you want to get a full understanding, read the entire chapter 1 of wisdom. But the fear of the Lord is a crown for the righteous. Sirach, what did I say? Wisdom, I'm sorry. Sirach 1, 11, and 18. That goes on letter E. Letter F, Isaiah 28. Isaiah comes after Sirach. Isaiah 28, verse 5. This is a warning to Jerusalem. He talks about the proud. Verse 5. In that day the Lord of hosts will be a crown of glory and a diadem of beauty to the remnant of his people, and a spirit of justice to him who sits in judgment, and strength to those who turn back the battle at the gate. So again, the Lord of hosts will be a crown of glory to his people. Same letter F, Isaiah 28:5, also marked Isaiah 62:3. Jump to Isaiah 62, verse 3. Isaiah chapters 60 through 66 really are a vision of the new heavens and the new earth. And in Isaiah 62, verse 3, we read, "You shall be a crown of beauty in the hand of the Lord, a royal diadem in the hand of your God." Isaiah 62, verse 3. You got it? Okay. Everyone seeing a pattern here? How God has established these crowns of glory and of righteousness, both to be experienced in this life as well as the life to come. For whom? The righteous. The righteous. Otherwise, that wife is like rottenness to your bones. Right? All right? Let's keep going. Zechariah chapter 9.
Is this letter G?
This is letter G, yes. Zechariah chapter 9. Where is all these coming from, by the way? Old Testament. You see how understanding the Old Testament prepares you for the New. You can't read something like God will give you a crown and not know that the Lord had been saying this from the beginning.
Where's Zechariah?
Zechariah, okay, if you're in Isaiah, page 794, if you have my Bible.
Is it before or after Isaiah?
After Isaiah. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. Then you get all the little prophets. Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah. Okay? Zechariah is almost till you get to the New Testament. Almost to the, if you're in Matthew, you've gone too far. Go a little bit back.
After Amos.
Yes.
Oh, okay. After Hagar?
After Haggai.
On page
What?
Chapter 9. Zechariah 9, verse 16, which is page 798 if you have my Bible. Zechariah 9, 16. On that day, the Lord their God will save them, for they are the flock of his people. For like the jewels of a crown, they shall shine on his land. Yes, how good and how fair it shall be. Grain shall make the young men flourish, and new wine the maidens. Got that? So the righteous are jewels in God's crown. Now, if you want another, I just realized I missed a reference, so you'll have to squeeze it in between F and G. And that's the book of Daniel. You'll have to go backwards. Daniel chapter 12. And it's because, I think I skipped it because we went over this when we did Daniel, but it's good to review it in here as well. Daniel chapter 12. Verse 1, at that time shall arise Michael, the great prince who has charge over your people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never been since there was a nation till that time. But at that time your people shall be delivered, every one whose name shall be found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. And those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. These are the jewels in the crown of the Lord, the righteous, and how they shall be at the last day. Okay? Now we're going to turn to the New Testament and see what they had to say about these crowns. In the first place is 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 4, which is page 180 in the New Testament, if you have my Bible. So this is letter H, 2 Timothy 4, verse 8. Okay, it's towards the end of the Bible. 2 Timothy, it's a small book. You got to go carefully. If you hit Titus, Philemon, and Hebrews, you've gone too far. It's before that. 4. Yes, 2 Timothy. So there's 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 4:8. From now on there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. This is Paul's last letter that he wrote before his death. And he knew that he was going to die soon. And he says there is this crown of righteousness that's awaiting me. And not just me, but all who love his appearing. A crown of righteousness. Okay? If you're in 2 Timothy, you will see the book of Titus. Turn that page. You will see the book of Philemon. Turn that page. You will see Hebrews. Go to the end of Hebrews, and you'll see the book of James. That's the next book we're going to start in. James. This is letter I. James chapter 1. verse 12. So Paul talks about a crown of righteousness. James talks about another type of crown. Okay. James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man who endures trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. So there's a crown of life, crown of righteousness. If you're in James, turn to the next page. Turn the next page and you're in 1 Peter. Go to the end of 1 Peter, which is chapter 5, page 198, if you have my Bible. One more crown. 1 Peter 5, verse 4. When the chief shepherd is manifested, you will obtain the unfading crown of glory. Crown of glory. Which is the first one that we've been reading about. So we've kind of come full circle from Psalms to 1 Peter. The crown of glory. When you boil these down, are these like individual crowns? Most likely not. These are metaphors. But what you can see out of them is what? That whatever Adam lost will be restored in Christ. And what we gain is Jesus himself. Because he is our righteousness. He is our life. He is our glory. And that's what's going to crown us when it is all said and done. When we end this life, if we end it in his righteousness,